Chapter breakdown: Blood Angels. So the Blood Angels are one of the loyalist legions. They wear the heraldry of like the blood teardrop, as you see there. The Primarch is Sanguinius, and they all hail from Baal Secundus. Baal Secundus because the first Baal got destroyed. But basically, they are more of an assault unit. They love up close combat, and they also clash a lot with the Tyranids for one. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't specialize in any other stuff. Like any Space Marine, they are massively capable of any martial combat. They just love close range combat, and there's a reason for that. Here's a Terminator, the Blood Angels Terminator, very cool. They love to fight the Tyranids, or not that they love to fight them, it just so happens that they suffer them a lot. Their chapter master is Dante. Dante is unique because he's probably the oldest living Space Marine at the moment. He's like 1,200 years old. And the funny thing is, the meme around it is that every time he gets a chance to die in combat for his service, for the Emperor, that kind of stuff, he always gets saved. And the funny thing is that he just wants to die because he's so old, but he's so loyal that he just will never do that to himself. So he just continues on. And like the funny thing is also at the end of the story, he meets up with Robuta Gilliman, who's the only like alive or awake Primarch, loyalist Primarch at the time, and then he gives him more duties to do, like, oh no, you have to go to the Nihilist section of the galactic map, and you have to defend the Imperium there. And he's like, okay, basically. It's now, when I mentioned that the Blood Angels are like, they suffer the Tyranids a lot, they almost lost the entire planet because of this storyline. There was like a Tyranid high fleet that was like coming right past them, and they brought in every chapter, successor chapter, their own whole chapter, everything, thousands of Space Marines. Now, thousands of Space Marines sounds like a lot, but that's nothing compared to what they had during the Heresy era. When the Imperium was at its height, essentially. In the modern day Warhammer stuff, 40k, they split into chapters. This is just the founding chapter. There was the Blood Angels. 1,000 of them basically kept that name. The rest of them all split up into dozens, if not hundreds, of successor chapters, and they all came to Baal to defend against the Tyranids. Now, it didn't go easy. It was a massive fight. They lost so many of their brothers during this time. But this happened during a time where Gilliman was coming back, and he brought like Promoris gene seed or Promoris reinforcements, basically a way to bring in new recruits for the chapter easier, and they're all stronger, taller, but they don't have the experience of the original Marines. So that's where they brought them in, and they basically got these reinforcements, and they are training them now as well. Also, a thing that the Blood Angels have is a thing called a Death Company. A Death Company comes from a Space Marine who loses himself to the Red Thirst, and then eventually succumbs to the Black Rage. Red Thirst is like the bloodlust that permeates every character or every Blood Angel member because of their gene seed being like kind of slightly corrupted. All the gene seed is corrupted. This is just their version of it. The Black Rage is something that happens when they get lost completely. They'll never come back after that. Basically, they just go crazy. Everyone they see looks like Horus. There's a reason for that as well, and that is because of Sanguinius. Sanguinius is the Primarch, or was their Primarch. He died during the Heresy. Horus killed him, and then in that moment, his psychic resonance went through his entire legion, and they all went crazy at the Siege of Terra, at the end of the Siege of Terra. So basically what happened is, they went crazy. They fought the traitor legions like mad. They were so bad that traitors were running. And remember, the traitors had demon support, like thousands, millions of demons. And they ran because of how crazy the Blood Angels were getting. Like, they fought so hard They just wrecked traitor legionnaires over again. And there was like no stopping them. It was like a brick wall made of knives, just like smashing through everything. And this was because of his death. The unique thing about Sanguinius is that he himself was born with angel wings. He's the most beautiful Primarch. All of his brothers say that to him all the time. He was born looking angelic, and he had this darkness inside of him because he also could see the future. He could see his own death. He didn't know when it would come, but he knew he was destined to die. And he knew that he didn't like see the betrayals or anything like that, but he knew something was wrong. Also, he told his brother Horus about the problem with his like red thirst and the black rage and everything. And what happened was, the Horus used that against him. They went to this planet, it was full of demons, and then Horus is like, well, you have to join me or die. And then basically, a lot of their legion got murdered during that whole thing. They won eventually, but at great. Mephiston is the chief librarian of the Blood Angels. He's like a mega psyker. He's so strong. Psychers are basically people attuned to the warp, and they can use their minds to like affect reality in like a Jedi. They have like force lightning powers. They can throw stuff at you. They can like alter. You can go into your mind as well. A lot of them are stronger than that. He's the only one with like this fire sword though. And like he's one of the strongest psychers, if not the strongest psyker in 40k, apart from like the Xenos faction. Now Sanguinius' death is chronicled in the End of the Death Part 2. It's the Siege of the Terror series, the second to last book. This is a more glamorized version of it. He was obviously not this small. It was much bigger. This is Horus standing over his body. And this is the book in question. This is the fight in the throne room, or basically like the command center of the Vengeful Spirit where they fought. Horus lured him there to fight him. During this time, he was so strong with chaos and magic and power that Sanguinius did so well at fighting him. He was even shocked. But eventually, Sanguinius' neck is broken by Horus. And that is what causes the Black Rage and death companies to be made. Death companies are groups of Space Marine Blood Angels who are so lost to the Black Rage that they are basically just put into units and then used as like unalive squads. Basically, they are used to like do as much damage as possible at the cost of their own lives for the Imperium, for the Blood Angels. A lot of them were lost during the Tyranid stuff, but they have rebuilt since. But they're all very cool. It's just a very sad way to do these things, but because of their prowess in like melee combat, they succeed super well. Especially after what they witnessed during like the Siege of Terror and Sanguinius' death, because every enemy they see when they're in the Black Rage looks like Horus, and they're like go super crazy. It's very. So that was my rundown on the Blood Angels. It's not a complete like super detailed rundown, but this is the basics. They are very awesome. They also inspired like a lot of legions, like the Blood Ravens and the heraldry, the red and all that. I do like them a lot. They are like one of the most like noble of legions, and they are like very introspective, even with how crazy violent they can be. But hope you guys enjoy it.